What is going on, YouTube? What is going on, Kansas City? And what is going on, everybody? And welcome to the Beat of KC. Beyond excited to provide this video to you because the Kansas City Chiefs go out and make a trade with the Minnesota Vikings for cornerback Mike Hughes, a former first-round pick. Absolutely exciting. We're going to talk about what the Chiefs gave up. We're going to talk about the depth and really what that creates in the secondary for the Kansas City Chiefs. It is something that I actually broke down in the live stream when they released the schedule, and I talked about it in depthly. We're going to talk about it a little bit more in this video, and really we're going to display what Mike Hughes has. You know, he's had some injuries, and I guess you could say there's a chance he may not have lived up to that first round hype for the Minnesota Vikings due to some injuries and things like that. So a fresh uniform may be good for Mike Hughes, and I'm excited to talk to you about, you know, what this really does for the Kansas City Chiefs from a defensive perspective. So if you're interested in the Mike Hughes trade, I suggest you stay tuned right after this. But before we dive in and start breaking down not only Mike Hughes, but also the trade, I ask that you guys smash that subscribe button, smash that like button, comment down below, because it helps way more than you know. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, we're trying to make this channel special. We're trying to get it out to everyone in Kansas City and out to everybody in the YouTube universe. So it helps out tremendously if you smash that subscribe button, smash that like button, and you know what time it is. It's time to get into the video. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to lie, this one kind of caught me off guard. You know, we kind of expected maybe a DN signing. We kind of expected maybe some other positions still being filled. You know, I was even thinking maybe there's a chance a receiver comes to the Kansas City Chiefs. But we go out and trade for Mike Hughes. And Field Yates broke it down the best, so I'm going to read you his tweet. He said the Chiefs are sending their 2022 6th-round pick to Minnesota for Hughes and Minnesota's 2022 7th-round pick. You know, that's kind of an exciting trade right there, at least from a Kansas City Chiefs perspective. We're getting a cornerback with experience, a former first-round, pick, and it's just exciting to be getting some more depth at the cornerback position. We're going to go through the depth chart here in a little bit, and obviously we have DeAndre Baker, another former first round pick, and he had a very gruesome injury last year. It was very unfortunate. He was actually doing really well. It was his first game back, and then obviously the injury happened. So he is obviously still recovering from that injury, and maybe that this trade is to help him obviously get back from that injury. And when he comes back, man, the secondary is going to be loaded with some very good corners. Rightfully so. Obviously the Denver Broncos are getting better at the receiver position and even the tight end position. The Las Vegas Raiders are obviously getting better at the receiver position. Plus they have Darren Waller. Then you go to the Los Angeles Chargers, again, still have Keenan Allen. Somebody from the Kansas City Chiefs had to shut that man down. He constantly goes off on the Kansas City Chiefs. So, you obviously have those good receivers within your division that you're going to face, multiple times. Then you got to go against the Bills. You got to go against the Browns. You got Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry. And the list goes on and on and on. No matter who the quarterback is, when you play Green Bay, you're going to be facing Devontae Adams. When you go and face Philly, you're going to be facing Devonta Smith, and you're going to be facing Jalen Reagor, and you're going to be facing Zach Ertz, and you're going to be facing, all kinds of monsters there. So then, the list goes on and on and on, ladies and gentlemen. So it only makes sense for the Kansas City Chiefs to add more depth. I'm excited to break down some of this film and provide it to you because I really do like aggressive physical cornerbacks, and I think you're going to see that in some of these clips as we're rolling through. He is a very aggressive corner. He does like to jump routes. That is some tendencies that the Honey Badger has. He likes to jump routes. He gets physical. He gets aggressive. Sometimes that does burn a corner, but that is where you have good secondary in the safety position to kind of help out with that at times. But I do really like physical and really aggressive cornerbacks. And it sounds like to me the Kansas City Chiefs like that exact same thing. I'm sure 100% that they constantly were watching film, watching things on Mike Hughes. I'm sure that they were scouting him as he was coming out in the draft back in the time. So I'm sure they really know what they're getting when they're getting Mike Hughes. And it's just exciting, too, to think that they're getting another aggressive cornerback and one that likes to be a ball hawk. Some people say that they're that aggressive that they hawk out the ball, and that's just absolutely incredible. So what we're going to do now is we're going to break down the depth chart, and we're going to really see, what they have. So you guys are going to see the depth. So at left cornerback, they have L'Jarius Sneed starting. I could not agree more. A cornerback, a young cornerback who had a tremendous year as a rookie. He did get hurt. He was out for a period of time. He did snap his collarbone. He came back and was again that L'Jarius Sneed we knew before the collarbone break. He's just a great physical corner. He likes to play, up in the receiver's grill, and I like to see that. They do have Mike Hughes in the updated depth chart, and he is in the second position behind L'Jarius Sneed. Again, I like that this is here because it shows the depth. I really believe that Bo Peep Keys, who is next on the depth chart at left cornerback, is really going to take a step forward. The more and more you start to get a veteran's presence, someone who really, you show an individual, a young individual, how to do things, especially in the NFL. They're going to follow your footsteps, and they're going to set, be the example and do things like that. So Bo Peep Keys, I really expect him to take a next step. And then obviously next is the right cornerback position. Charvarius Ward is the starter. Rashad Fenton and DeAndre Baker. DeAndre Baker could jump clear to the front of that and be the starter if he gets healthy and when he gets healthy. So those are two things that, obviously we have to make sure that happen before he ever gets to that starting role. But, this really does create a ton of depth. Another thing to remember, and I touched on this in a video when I was, talking about the linebacker position, when I broke down and really talked about our draft picks. The Kansas City Chiefs do like to run nickel, and that means they throw out an extra nickel, the nickel back, which is a extra secondary position. And in this case, it could be Mike Hughes. Maybe, they don't feel they have the depth to put the nickel as a safety. We do like to see Dan Sorensen come in sometimes, and I do feel they throw him as the nickel back because we do like to run him down in the box sometimes. We do like to have him do some covering. There are also times where the Honey Badger likes to blitz, and so you got to have that extra, nickel out there to help cover. L'Jarius Sneed obviously is a corner. You have Charvarius Ward, a corner, but now you have the potential to have Mike Hughes. Armani Watts, Will Parks, they just go get Will Parks. So you really have a lot of options there at that nickel position. That does reduce you down to two linebackers, and that's obviously something that we've experienced last year. But with the offense in the NFL, just becoming more of a powerhouse throwing type of NFL offense, you're going to start to see a lot more receivers and even tight ends coming into the scene. So a lot more teams, I feel, are going to start doing the nickel, package and things like that. So this is an absolute interesting trade. I'm really excited, and I'm really excited to see Mike Hughes fit well into the Kansas City Chiefs defense. I appreciate you swinging by and checking out this video on the trade for Mike Hughes. It means a ton. I can assure you that this is a significant depth piece. And the reason I say that is just because in the NFL, we know that injuries can happen. They do happen. And nobody is going into a season perfect. It's just a contact sport. Things happen. So it is extremely, extremely important to get depth. We learned that in the offensive line last year, going into the playoffs, going into the Super Bowl, and I could not agree more that this is definitely something you need in the secondary. L'Jarius Sneed did go down with a broken collarbone, and then you needed depth. So I could not agree more with this trade. I like the trade. I don't think we gave up a ton of assets to get this trade, and even we acquired a 7th-round pick. So that is even significant. So I do appreciate you swinging by, checking out this video, and checking out the beat of KC. Thank you, and as always, have a good day.